Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray, brought to you proudly by Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency, Barton Power Sports, Sportsman's Warehouse, and Best Care Home Services.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on this third Saturday of December, which means we have 5 Saturdays. So we got bonus month as we have 5 Saturdays in December. Of course, the third Saturday means that normally it's Guy Trebo and Frank Barton, but this morning it's double Barton. So Frank Barton from the Barton Power Sports is here, and Frank has one of his facilities in Forest City, and we're going to talk to a young man who lives in Forest City.
You bet.
And it's always good to talk to Arkansas people.
Oh, hard to beat them.
It's hard to beat Arkansas folks, that's for sure. You know, and
you're one.
I is one.
You don't
That's
admit
right.
it a whole lot, but you're one.
Well, not in football season, I sure don't. You know, but now I can't do it in basketball. Getting beat by Western Kentucky. Golly, I guess that's not as. Just think that's.
Let's change subjects.
Well, I was just
Let's
thinking.
talk fishing.
To lose to Kentucky'd be bad, but to lose to us, the Western, we ought to play Eastern Kentucky next. Is there other directional Kentucky teams to play?
Why are you going here?
I don't know. Let's get back to crappie fishing. All right, we got with us. Tried to hook up with him not long ago. I always like to talk crappie fishing because this young man and his dad have a real love of it, and we're going to talk a lot about their career. But we've got Jarad Roper on the line with us out of Forest City. Good morning, Jarad.
Good morning, guys.
Let's talk crappie fishing, buddy. And I know you're eat up with it. And
bad. I got.
We'll talk about it because you guys, as I understand, the Crappie Masters Sportsman of the Year. You guys won. You and your dad Tommy, and your love affair of crappie fishing, and you've taken a kind of a different role in this. So you, where are you from originally?
I am originally born and raised from New Jersey.
That's okay. I wanted to get that out of the way quickly. You know, take the New Jersey out of this and bring back because people are going to say that don't sound like an Arkansas accent right there. So,
well, look, I go to New Jersey, they say I have an accent, then I come down here back to Arkansas, and they say I have an accent.
Oh man,
I don't know where home is right
now. Well, home is where you are. So, talk about how you got into this crappie fishing.
Basically, my mother. So my mother told me to turn your passion to a paycheck, and that was all I needed. You know, I grew up watching. You know, I think it was TNN back then.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Watching Bill Dans and looking at the Bassmasters and all that type of stuff. So Jimmy Houston, and I would wake up early, watch that stuff, but it was just bass fishing, and I remember. The occasions when Jimmy Houston or Bill Dance would be fishing for crappie, it was just amazing because that was our passion.
Yeah.
But my passion, you know, is not bass fishing. So I was like, man, well, I wonder is there a such thing as crappie tournaments? Well, around that time was the turn of the internet.
Yep.
AOL was out, just out, and I looked up. I said, well, I wonder is there a crappie tournament? So I typed it in and found one in Buffalo, New York.
Golly. Okay.
Yeah.
They call them they call them crappie tournaments up there. Okay. They don't call them crappie.
Actually, look, when you go that far up there, they're not even considered crappie. They're called something totally different. Believe it or not, they're called a calico bass. A calico bass.
I knew they're calling sectole and these other different kind of things, but that.
Calico.
So you got into it, and I'm assuming your dad. You fish with your dad, so talk about that relationship.
Oh, yeah. My dad is my partner. You know, if I talk about it long enough, I get emotional. And everyone always says, man, you are so blessed and lucky to be able to travel around the world.
Yes.
Around this country, you know, with your dad. So, yeah, man, I grew up every spring break, and all summer was down south or central. Down here in Arkansas, fishing off the Mississippi on the different oxbows and going bluegill fishing, shellcracker fishing, and all that type of stuff, and crappie fishing. So the Roper side of our family is the fisherman.
Is the fisherman.
The other side of my family is fishing and hunting. So
you got the crappie side, and you've taken this also. You love to tell people about it. You and your dad. to teach other ones about it. So talk about the teaching side of what you do.
Yeah. So I was just looking at my man. We'll go to boat shows and I'll see seminar speakers up there, and I say, man, I just would love to be a professional fisherman.
Yeah.
But I've never seen a professional crappie fisherman. Actually, the only one I encountered was at the time Wally Marshall.
Oh yes,
Mr. Crappie.
Mr. Crappie.
And so I said, well, what do they do? Well, they do seminars, they write articles and all that type of stuff. And so I just took it upon myself to start teaching myself. All right, you're going to have to stand up in front of people and share your passion. So that's what I started doing, started calling different boat shows, and that's actually how I met you, Larry.
That's right,
several years ago at the Memphis show.
That's right,
2019, we started Roper Outdoors, and I started Roper Outdoors because I knew we were moving more in a professional direction. So I started doing speaking engagements, writing articles, doing guides, and now full swing making tackle, so jig heads and plastic.
Wow. And 2018 was good too, wasn't it?
Oh, yes. 2018 was it's like winning the doggone classic or championship almost.
All right.
To be crowned the Sportsman of the Year.
Yes.
You don't know that your name is being floated around. It's something that other people bring up to the president and to the staff, and they nominate someone. And we were nominated, and that was just a blessing. And part of that is it's for people that try to advance the sport, that are really trying to do things to help the sport. And so, I was sharing on my initial thank you on social media, I was saying many times you go through life, whatever you're doing, but especially when you're in like a specific sport or whatever,
yes,
you feel like what you're doing maybe is not appreciated. So you're, the thought of like, why am I doing this? Give it up, whatever.
Yeah.
And to have that happen was just amazing.
Well, Jared, we got to mention, that you guys step forward. You're hoping to teach other kids, minorities, that you would like to get involved in this sport. So tell our listeners about that.
Well, yeah, and that's still a motivation of mine. I don't talk about it always because, some settings, whatever. But, yes, you mentioned it. As a minority, African American, when I looked at television, I never saw anyone that looked like me. The only one was, at the time, Jose Wahebe with the Spanish flag.
That's right, yeah. And that was the only one, buddy. And
then later on, it became Ish Monroe. So
that's right.
What? There's an African American, And now, since then, there's several, Mark Daniels Jr. and Brian Lattimore at FLW. So that's a motivation of mine. I know that there are a lot of kids in the African-American community and Hispanic and whatever that love to fish.
Yeah.
But they just don't see any representation.
Yeah.
And so that's been my goal, even with sponsorships or whatever.
Yes.
I talk to companies and say, listen, there's more people than other folks that fish. So I'm like, we need some representation. And it does something to a kid when they can say, like, oh, man.
Look at that.
It did something to me.
Yeah.
So
well, that means
that's my passion.
That's something that, you got to be able to communicate in this world today. And obviously you've excelled in communications because you come across as you know what you're doing, you know what you want to do, but at the same time you want others to know that you would like for them to join you and the things that you do. And that's why you get through your academies or whatever it might be. So what's up with 2019 as we in midway in December here? What do you guys got set up for 2019?
Oh, well, I'm just eating, just foaming at the mouth, ready for tournaments to start over. I mean, about the time the end of the season happens, you are like sick of tournaments. Okay?
Yeah, but you're ready.
Sick of traveling. And then after a month goes by, you're like, okay, when's the next tournament?
Well, I don't blame that.
We're just preparing for boat show season. I'll be doing some seminars over in Oklahoma.
Okay.
And then preparing to really start to move and branch and getting our products into stores. We had a lot of online sales, but really now focusing on getting our product in bait stores.
Well, I don't think a lot of people realize that you're into the bait industry now, and that you're doing this. That you're doing this. They know the fishing side, and and your focus on other things. But I think this will open up. So, folks, how do folks get in touch with you at this Christmas time if they want to book you for maybe do a clinic or maybe get some of your lures? Where do they go to find out information, Jarad?
They can go to www.roperoutdoors with an S .com.
Okay.
So that's roperoutdoors.com.
Okay.
And they, of course, they can find me on social
Facebook.
media at Roper Outdoors or Jarad Roper.
There you go. All right, buddy. We appreciate you. We hooked up with you. We're glad to do this, and we'll talk to you again later after the first year. Okay.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you, Larry.
All right. Merry Christmas to you and your family. Okay.
You too.
All right. Thanks, Jarad. Okay, Jarad Roper. He's got it. He's got his act together. I mean, he knows how to communicate, and that's part of being a success, I think.
Well, all of the professional anglers that I've seen that are doing well,
yes,
that are making more than just getting by, that they're making a living, they've all got good communication skills.
And he doesn't make a big deal about the minority side, but I had to bring it up because he's passionate about inner city kids learning how to crappie fish and things along that line. So I think you're going to hear a lot more from him, and it helps that he's from Arkansas by way of New Jersey. I wanted to bring that in. New Jersey accent that he has.
It's kind of hard to find Forest City from New Jersey.
Is that? That's true. Yeah. Okay. All right, we're going to take a break, come back. I'm going to let Frank introduce this last segment, and it's talking about trout fishing. But it's not like trout fishing where you think it might be. We'll be right back on Outdoors with Larry Ray.